Guys, welcome back to another ep. Steve from Stavjet, and on today's ep, we're uncovering the sheets. Now, if you've been a loyal channel subscriber or you're very familiar with my roots, that is the VN. What we're going to be doing on today's ep, just going to give you guys, I guess, a little bit of an update. It's been probably like, what, 3 years, maybe 2 years? I'm not sure, but it's been, actually, it's probably been more than 3 years since I've raced this. On the last meeting, if you guys have had a look previously, it was actually when I first started this channel. I took this out racing and we bent a lower control arm. So I fixed that. So yeah, you would have seen in previous episodes, I took the car out racing, we bent the control arm, we fixed the control arm, and I've bent it again. Now, I thought that I had bent the diff because I'd only just replaced the lower control arm and I've only done street driving and street hits. So I didn't think that I'd be able to bend the control arm again on the street. You know, not even being a prepped surface, but it is what it is. I'm going to show you guys how I determined this, because I was always under the impression for the last couple of years that I've been driving the car, I've been under the impression that the diff's been bent, and I haven't wanted to take it out racing again because I didn't really want to majorly hurt anything in the rear end. And I guess going, 135 plus mile an hour, bent diff, I wasn't really keen on that. So I'll take you through what we're doing at the moment. This episode is, I guess, the start of the journey into the, we'll call it, journey to the 9-second zone, something along those lines. Anyways, yeah, I want to run a 9 in the VN, and then I'll be stoked. Possibly a car will be up for sale and see how we go from there. But anyways, my goal's always been to run a 9. We're going to do that very soon. Let's have a look, because I'm doing quite a few upgrades at once. And we'll take you through the diff first, and then I guess plans from there then on. Let's go. So how I first determined that I had bent the diff is I measured up from the rail to the wheel stud. I had 380 on this side, all right? And then on the other side, I had 375. So I had 380 on this side and 375 on that side. And I was like, surely the diff tube is bent. But I then went to the control arm bolt, and I realized that the control arm was fucking bent again. So yeah, it's out like 8 mil or something along that line. And again, I'm just saying the measurements from here to stud, I don't know how straight that is. Like where I'm measuring off this side of the rail to the other side of the rail to the wheel stub. But when I went and measured from center to center bolt on the control arms, we had an 8 mil difference. So I'm pretty sure, well, I think I've determined that I've bent a control arm on that side again. What we're going to be doing now is, also just wanted to add in, if anybody's interested in my Coney yellow adjustable shocks, they're to suit a shortened or lowered VN, I think VN to VS. Yeah, hit me up if you're interested. They will be up for sale. We're going to upgrade these. Now, time for upgrades. All right, let's go have a look at what I'm upgrading, because now that I've determined that the diff's not bent, which didn't really faze me anyway. I was getting a quote to get it straightened up, and along with that, we're upgrading. Come on. So, Thor's hammer or Thor's hammer. So, I've purchased and I've had these for quite some time. Adjustable lower control arm mounts that we're going to weld onto the diff. So I guess why we're upgrading the lower control arm mounts on the diff, purely for adjustability, for the bar angles. And I guess I really want to learn how to set up the suspension for radials. So we're going to learn together with that front. I know I still have a lot of learning to do, but this will be all done at the track. We'll, adjust it and see how it affects the 60 and, how it hooks up or how the car reacts. And yeah, that'll be a good learning curve for me in terms of, setting up the suspension. But yeah, so I guess updating them, we're going to have to take the spring perch off the standard VN spring setup, so we're gonna have to grind that out, and I've got another perch over there that's gonna suit the coilover springs. You'll see that obviously this is not the standard spring seat. We're going to be able to now run coilover springs, so we're actually going to be able to get a lot more adjustability with the spring rates, heights, and yeah, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the diff out, and the diff has to come apart. We have to put a alignment jig in, so we'll bar through, and then we'll weld the brackets onto the diff. I'm getting that done at Diff King. They're going to sort that out for me. I've already given them a call. They're going to rebuild the diff, even though it's brand new diff. They're going to put new bearings in and align it all up, weld the new brackets on, and we'll take those brackets off. And then, yeah, that'll be the diff sorted. I really wanted to put an anti-roll bar in, but yeah, the way that my exhaust and my surge tank sit is just, I'm not going to be able to set that up with the current combo, how it sits at the moment. I don't want to change the surge tank, and I don't want to dump the exhaust at the diff, so we're keeping it as is. Again, we'll just see how this affects the car, and then go from there. And if we need to put maybe a heavy duty lower sway bar, I've seen 30 to 35 mil rear sway bars that we can put on. That will definitely help straighten the car when it launches. But I'm hoping that with the lower control arm mounts and the new spring combinations that we can do, we should be able to get the car to squat and go fairly, or hold fairly straight. But we'll soon find out anyway. You guys will be able to keep an eye out. I'll keep you guys updated when I'm heading out to the track. But yeah, I'm gonna take the diff out and we'll get that sorted. Now, another upgrade that we're doing at the same time is, let's have a look. You guys can probably guess, I don't know. Oh, yeah, so we're gonna upgrade the turbo. Now, I'm not sure if this is an upgrade as such, but it's possibly a downgrade. But the big GDX 42 is coming out, I don't feel as though I'm going to really maximize this turbo. So again, I love street driving. I love cruising with the kids and so forth. So having this, it really needed the gas if I wanted to keep this turbo and have like a nice response. But yeah, again, I'm taking this car back to as street as I can. So we've got a Pulsar G40, the 1150. Now, as you can see, I'm currently the camera. There we go, that's better. Yeah, so have to do some mods now with the G40. Now, this is a V-band 4-inch. The old GDX 42 had the 6-bolt. So we're going to cut that back there off the dump, and we're going to set up a V-band. So a couple of mods we're going to do. And then cooler. So I think this is 2.5 inch. We're going to have to do some sort of like an adapter down into my 3-inch cooler pipe there. As you can see here, this was like a 3.5 inch and we had to go to 3-inch, so can't win, can we? It either need a reducer or yeah, like a expander. Anyways, so yeah, that's where we're up to at the moment. New turbski, getting the diff sorted, and what else are we gonna do? We're gonna get some shocks. Yeah, so new turbo, diff brackets, new lower control arms, and we're also gonna get some new shocks. So I'm gonna order them next week. We're gonna get some Viking double adjustables. I'm gonna order them through McDonald Brothers, and yeah, we'll have them fitted up soon as well. But I guess from here on, you'll just see a little bit of me taking the diff out, and then we'll be modding the turbo dump pipe and installing that and fitting that up. So I just need to get a couple of lock nuts, and we'll get that reducer, the 3-inch to 2.5 inch. And I believe I'm gonna need to get a new air filter as well. So yeah, that's where we're up to at the moment. And yeah, let's have a look, and I guess we'll just do some snaps of me taking out the diff. And this turbo is so much smaller than the GDX 42. It almost looks like back in the days when I had the G35, sorry, the GDX 35 turbo. Nice little cute turbo. How's that? Yeah, that still clears. Oh, beautiful. But yeah, can't wait. Hopefully we can get a bit more response out of this turbo, and it can come up on song nice and quick. Good for the street. Alright guys, so we're up to, I've called it a day. I need to get some... Alright, so this guy here was off my old GDX 42, but with the inlet feed on the G40 series, it V's out on one side and then the other side's flat, and it's very hard up against the V-band flange for the cartridge or the core to the rear housing. Now, I need to take off more than that there to clear that V-band flange. So this won't work. Spewing. But you get that on the big job. So I've actually already ordered off Pulsar. I got their kit. It comes with a restrictor in the actual oil adapter housing fitting thing. So I ordered that up. What else? I've got some Dash 10 PTFE line. I just need to get some fittings because we're going to change up the way that the oil drain runs to the sump. Reason being is the other 42, it must have sat different, and I had a 90 straight off the floor of the turbo, and then it looped down into the sump. So now I'm not sure, but the turbo sits in a different spot. I'm gonna get one of those flange extensions. It has like, I think like 50 mil extended length. That will drop it down, and then I'll do like 45 and a straight, because the way that my sump is welded, the fitting, it's welded on a 45. So I'll get like a 45 and a straight. I'm pretty sure that will be sweet. So I'll order those two fittings. The diff is out. And I've just been comparing to the standard control arm, did some measurements, and as you would have seen in the video, I measured the diff, set up a straight edge off the pinion flange, and measured across the axle tubes, and they were all bang on. So the control arm's definitely bent, and it is because I didn't brace that one side, but the other side must be bent as well, because I measured end to end with the standard control arm that I have here, and it was out like 3 to 5 mil on the braced one as well. So maybe when I bent it initially, it must have bent the driver's side harder when I was at Heathcote, and then obviously that was the one that was noticeable and touching the inner guard. So obviously I replaced that, and I was going to brace it up, but I figured I'm not going to be doing any trans brake launches. It was just on the street, just like roll type, like rolling into it. But obviously, yeah, I've cut too much off that lip. That's me. It's me being stupid. There's no bracing there to hold that, and all the weight is on the control arm. So I guess it makes sense why it was bent again. But yeah, so we'll take the diff down to Diff King. I'm going to actually give them a call tomorrow. Just let them know, should I grind the brackets off and tack my brackets on? Because I'll show you. I've actually already set up the control arm, and there's not much movement there. So yeah, I'll see what they say. I have to, well, I'm gonna drill the spot welds here that tacks all this onto the frame. We'll drill that all out, we'll take this out, and then we're going to put in these spring perches that I've got. So these new spring perches suit that, and they're going to go up there. So that's a during the week job. I'll tackle them during the week. I'll drill that out, and then hopefully following weekend I'll be able to set up the turbo, get all the turbo. I've ordered some copper lock washers for that. I've ordered some 4-inch stainless steel pipe because I'm gonna have to marry up the new V-band that we have over here. So now it's gonna be 4-inch, whereas the previous one was 3.5-inch off the 6-bolt flange, and then we had a expander from 3.5 to 4. So yeah, all happening. I will call that an Ep.